Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. So the last video I put out, this is where Bitcoin was. And it was this video here. It was the last video. You can go back and just go through my last videos I put up. It says Bitcoin pumped as predicted. How high will we go? That was this video here. And this is the actual video. I'll put a link up to it now if you want to check it out. The link will be in the description as well. It said 104,587. I'm expecting this to come down right back down because this was a major resistance level. And I also told you guys that if we push above this point and hold its support wherever it's at, we'll probably come up, test our previous resistance, hold its support, and then push higher. That is how that played out. But I would like to show you, as you can see, take note, this yellow line, that's where we pushed above it. We got a major pump. We pushed up, this is where we got rejected. Take note, this became our resistance, and this fib channel line that I talked about became our support. And you can see if I hit play, watch how this played out. That's that yellow line we got a pump. That's where I made the video, so I expect this to come back down. Watch how we just bounce between these lines. Let me hit play on this. So as you can see, this was a point we got rejected. This is where you were shorted. This is where you would have longed. This is where you would have shorted. This is where you would have longed. And I drew a trend line, and I made a post about this in Discord. Once we get above this, expect us to get a pump. But notice we got rejected right at that line again, came back all the way down to support, and then we broke above it. And now you can see this is currently our support. And we are above, like I said, our previous high at 108,300. Now we do have a high before that. That's also going to be potentially a support level. But the most important thing about this video, now yes, I'm going to give you your daily levels and your hourly levels. But the most important thing about this video is I want to show you two charts. These are the two most important levels in Bitcoin. We've already tested one. There's one above that. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to break it down and zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. And you have to make up your mind what you're going to do, but I hope you pay attention because we're getting very close to that point. And yes, if we get above that, yes, the sky's the limit, but do pay attention to that level. Before we break down all the charts, guys, CoinCatch is no KYC, no VPN. Again, I don't know how the hell they do this. Again, so if you deposit, now this is 30 slots every 7 days. And the reason it's only 30 slots is because they're giving you $5,000 as a bonus. So if you deposit $1,000, by the way, this is an events page. I'll put a link up to it now so you can check it out. If you deposit $1,000, that would be your margin to trade with. They'll give you a $5,000 bonus. That means your margin can now be $6,000 to trade with by only putting in $1,000. They have lower tiers. If you deposit $500, well, they'll give you a $1,250 bonus. So that means you're trading with, $1,250 plus $500. That's what, $1,750. Now you can use as your margin. So again, they have some great offers. Take advantage of it while you can. That's 300 slots every 7 days. If you want to sign up under my affiliate link, that's also in the events page. You can also get free access to my charts in Discord. Depending on the tier that you choose, that is down here. Just read this page. My affiliate link is also down here. It's somewhere in here. This is my referral link. I'll put a link up to that now if you want to sign up under my link. But do check out this events page, guys. Their specials, their bonuses are just absolutely insane. If you want to learn how to trade on CoinCatch, this tutorial video I put up just showing you all the tools, how I use them, how to protect yourself. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. And guys, as always, if you want to get access, while I haven't put up a video in a while, I'm always in Discord making updates and updating the charts. If you want to sign up, get access to just the Bitcoin charts, precious metals, and Discord, it's the $49 option. And if you do sign up, make sure you email me through the contact page so I can give you a Discord invite link. So let's just break this down, guys. So you can see our current support level on the daily is right here at, let me make these bigger so you can see it. So you can see our current support, guys, major support, 108,268. I made a post in Discord about this. So as long as we're above 108,350 around that area, stay bullish. As long as we're getting daily opens above, do keep in mind we are pretty close to the top Bollinger Band on the daily. You can see we did get a rejection there. I made a post in Discord about this level where we got rejected. at this point right here, and this comes into play. And when I show you these two charts, you'll understand. Now we could go higher than this, yes, but that is one level, and I'll show you the level above that and why it is so important. So it might be in your best interest to be patient. I made a post in Discord about not turning bearish just yet, because we haven't tested a level that I think is very likely we will test. We'll come back and I'll give you your lower support levels, but right now, right off the bat, 108,349 around that area. As long as you're above that with daily opens, I would stay bullish, and I will cover your key levels above. In Discord, now there are some I can't go higher because that kind of gives away some stuff that I was talking about, but I want you to just look at this. All right, you can see this is the H1 chart. So your resistance level was right here, right at this point. And then you see we got rejected right there. And then you see we came down to support. We bounced from support. This was your resistance, 110,000. We got rejected. So you can see how accurate this chart has been. So you had to point to long here, point to short here, point to short here, point to long here, point to long here, point to short here. And I just made a post about this. We've already dropped from 110,700 down to 109,551. So if you're using leverage, I give you the levels. You could be making a killing just longing and shorting. I get it. Some of you hodl and you're just buying and staying in, which I don't know why some of you guys even watch videos unless you're swing trading to buy and sell at lower prices. But if you're using leverage and you know when to get in and when to get out, you can make a lot of money. So I just want to show you how accurate these charts have been. This is the H1, this is the hourly, and the D1 chart I showed you is the daily. So before I get into your key levels on the hourly and the daily, I do want to explain to you why these two levels are so important. So the first one we're going to cover is this one. This is called, if you have access to my charts, all my charts are live. If you sign up, you can load these charts up and you can see them play out live. But I'm going to zoom out of this, and I'm going to go ahead and give you this level right now. Now, it is possible. Now, we could get rejected. I know that this blue line right here, I'll put a line here so you can see what I'm talking about. This blue line is a very key level. I have a yellow line there now. But this line right here is around 112,638. I'm sorry, this curve. You can see this arrow. This is a curve. So, again, this is very, very close to 113,000. If you look down, you can see the MACD is starting to curl over. You can see the RSI is topped out, about ready to cross. Now, guys, I am not telling anyone to go short here. I'm not telling anyone to sell. It is very possible, the bond market's been crashing. We could go higher, but I like to play the levels. I just know this. We are so close to such a key resistance level that I think it would be to not short it, or at least to attempt to short it, would just be insane. Maybe wait and see if we get rejected and come down and then short. I like to short right at the point. If it goes up above, maybe I'll add to it. And if it goes a little higher, then I'll just close it and go long, because we know if we get above it, we're going much higher. But this line, I'm going to get rid of the MACD and RSI and just zoom out. I want to show you why this is such an important level. Now this chart right here is on, I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff so it's not so busy. Let's see, the Bollinger Band and all that. So yeah, I have a lot of lines on here, but all I want you to pay attention to is this curve. Ignore all the stuff on the chart except this curve. I know it's kind of hard to say that with all the stuff on here, but you can see this curve encompasses all of our peaks going all the way back to, this was 2011. This right here was in 2013. You see we topped out right here at 2017. We topped out all through here in 2021. We topped out again in 2021. And if we zoom in and we look at this, you can see that we hit that point and we got rejected, right? We got rejected again right at that level, right around here. And this was in 2024. This was December through January. And you see we've just tapped it one more time. If I zoom in, look at this. We actually hit it, I mean, to the damn dollar right here at 112,200. Now, I'm not saying we can't go higher than that. I mean, we get wicks all the time. But what I want to point out is you can clearly see that every single peak that Bitcoin has had has been underneath that curve. So yes, if we break above that point, guys, we're going to go much higher because we're breaking above. And again, I'm going to show you another version of this chart. This is log scale. That's why it's a curve. It changes the way that the chart looks. But we hit that point. So maybe you want to change the short here. Again, I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm telling you, for me, this looks like an ideal point to open a short. It's a no-brainer. Let's go to the other chart. Now this is just another way of looking at the very same chart. So I'm just going to get rid of the MACD and the RSI. This is a special version of the RSI, which I like to see, or I like to use. You can see that we're now underneath this moving average in this red. But I want to zoom out and show you the chart and get rid of all the stuff below. And I want to show you why this is so important. Now I did add a fib channel in here because this is great for scalping longs and shorts. But what I want you to pay attention to is this red line. And what I just showed you, the log scale version, this is the linear scale version, all right? And same thing. While the log scale caught more peaks, you can see that the same deal. We got topped out right here, 2017. Remember, the other one went back to 2011. This just goes back to 2017. Topped out here. We topped out here. We did get a wick above. That's what I'm saying. We can get wicks above, but notice we got rejected at this red line. That was in 2021. This was in 2021. Same thing. And you see we topped out here twice. We hit it at 108,300 current support. Then we hit it at 109,442, which could end up being support again if we push up. And that line is just, I mean, it's right here. We're right at it. So I showed you the log scale version with the curve, and I showed you, I'm showing you now the linear version. So yes, it is very possible that we could push up. Now, again, going by the log scale, let me go back to this chart here. Going by the log scale version, you can see that we've already tapped it. Now, I think a lot of people, well, at least people that have been paying attention to the more macro charts, they know about this line right here. They know about this, and people are probably expecting to short this. So it's possible people open a short, they push it up higher, stop them out, and we come back down. Maybe we don't even make it to this point because everybody's expecting it. So again, that's why you're going to have to decide what you want to do. You know, it could be a safe play to enter with lower margin. You know, depending on how you trade or how much leverage, I would pick your leverage. Choose your margin. You know, go short from this point, but make sure that you're willing or you can accept price going up to, you know, right here is 113,700. And I'm not saying price can't just chop. You know, we can just chop for a while and do something like this and then push up again. And if that happens, well, then your resistance is going to be up around 116,000. We don't know what's going to happen, but I do know this: every time we hit this line, we get a major rejection. If it's sooner and we push up, then that point too short is going to be around 113,800, because every time we've hit that line going back since 2017, as you can see, we get a rejection, 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 rejection. So it only makes sense, hey, if we hit it again, we're either going to get one hell of a rejection and come down, or we push above that hold as support, and then, guys, we blast off, and that's when we really actually go to the moon. So again, just want to show you why that's so important, and we'll come back to this chart and getting these confused here. But for now, this curve that I've had here on this chart for a while, we hit that point, we got rejected. So if you start seeing, like I said, we'll go back to the D1 Fib retracement chart. But right here, you can see 108,350. All right, this is currently our support. This is on par with the D1 chart. If you start seeing us get daily opens below this point, then we're going to drop. We might consolidate and then push back up. You know, if we go out, this is actually on the weekly. These are weekly candles here. So, you know, a few weeks from now, again, 113,000, all right? I'm just showing you that this is a major resistance level. To me, since we pushed up so far, this looks like an ideal point to short. But yes, if we get above that and hold, then guys, that is the last major resistance level for Bitcoin. And you can see that. I just want to make that very clear to you guys. To me, it's worth the risk to short. Now, I'm not saying short right now. If you're playing the levels, yes, you might want to open a short. I'll show you where to long and short on the daily. But just macro, looking at the bigger picture, we have never pushed above this trend line. We might get a wick above it, but we always get rejected. And yes, as the further out that line goes, the higher this gets. However, we do know that we are respecting this curve. So we could have already topped out at 112,000. Maybe we go a little further out. This line actually does go a little higher, not as high as the other one. You see out here is around 114,000, out here is 115,000. But to me, that looks like a point to at least chance a short. You could try lower margin, and if it starts dropping, you can just keep adding to your short, adding another 1,000 to your short, adding in 2,000 to your short. As you make more money, you can use your gains to add to that short. Obviously, if we get above those levels, guys, then we're going much higher. That's all there is to it. That's why that's the last level to pay attention to. So just wanted to point that out. Let me give you your daily support and resistance levels to pay attention to. So we did top out at this fib line, and I made a post in Discord about that. We dropped from $112,000, and we came down and hit support. Take note that this is the center of Bollinger Band on the daily. This right now is sitting around 105, well, say 106,000. Your next key support, and guys, we know this is support because you can see how price interacted with this line. Make this a different color so it stands out. Let's just make it a blue. Let's make it a little thicker. All right, well, if I can make it blue, let's see here. So you can see this line we know is going to be support, and that's the point of these charts, guys. Look, support, 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 support. So if we come down and we break, we get a daily open below 108,350. Well, you know you're headed to 104,372. If we get a daily open above that, we're pushing back up to 108,000, 109,000 because previous support flipped as resistance. You get a daily open below 104. Take note that's the bottom Bollinger Band on the daily. Well, you know your next major support to long is going to be down around 100,500 because you can see how much resistance this was. Once we broke above it, we shot straight up. So that's your point too long. And if we break that, well, your support level you have a support level just below that, around 99,250, because you can see that line right here was all of our support, right? So it's that simple. You just play the levels. Now, if we bring this out, take note, that's right at 113,492. So the D1 fib retracement chart. Now our current resistance right now that we got rejected from is right here. Let me move this arrow out of the way. It was 111,057. So you can see the top Bollinger Band starting to move down. So yes, we have support levels. We could drop down to 104,300, push right back up, maybe get a rejection, maybe we break above a support. But these are your key levels. So if price opens below, listen to what I'm saying, a daily open below 108,350, you know more than likely we are heading down because all the daily opens are typically above this point or below this point. We get daily open below, you short to 104,372. Then you would open along with the stop below. If we break below 104,372 daily open, then you would short down to 100,500. You would definitely want to long that point. Hell, even if we bring this trend line out, that's further confluence because this was resistance, we broke above it, and we shot straight up. So you know that's a lot of support. And keep in mind, guys, this is on the daily. These lines are at upward angle, so that price changes day to day. So today, just above, that's 113,322. Tomorrow, that price is 113,548. So again, if you have access to the charts, when you make contact, that's when you short. I'm just giving you an idea of where prices are. And obviously, look, if we had one major drop, well, before we got our major pump, right, this line right here was our support and resistance. As soon as we came back down and we held support on this point, and then we broke above this line right here, we shot straight up. So we know that the most critical support level we have on this chart is going to be all the way down here around 92,347. And again, it's not that price. It's when you make contact with the line. That is how these charts work. But these are your daily, your most critical daily support and resistance levels to long and short. Now let's go to the hourly. And again, that post I made, this was a post I made just a little bit ago. So your resistance, 110,834. And look at that. He hit it literally to the tick and dropped. And this one here, you can see your support, your resistance was 110, your support was 107. It came down to 107 and hit that literally to the dollar and shot up. So again, I give you points to get in and get out. If you just play the levels, you will not win them all. Like this one here, if you long this point, well, unless you just went ahead and got stopped out and waited, yeah, you would have lost money. But if you had, if you're willing to risk more to stay in, we eventually push back up. So this one would have been iffy. This one, that was to the dollar. You enter that long, you're in profit. You didn't lose a penny. This one, you just short right at that line, you're instant profit. You lost nothing. You didn't have to worry. You could have set your stop loss at $1 and you would have lost nothing. Same thing with this long here, and same thing with that short. So again, I try to give you levels to play. That is what I do, and that's what I've been doing in Discord since the very last video I put up. For your hourly price labels, look, your next support level, if that doesn't stand out, just use your eyeballs, guys. This has been resistance, resistance, resistance. Yes, we got some wicks above, guys. That's what exchanges and market makers do. But your support level currently is 107,800. Support level just below that, 106,800. And you can see that we've been just getting rejected repeatedly from this line. So if we push up, 110, say 111,000. And again, this is hours out, guys. But you can see we got a strong rejection at 110,738. So again, these are the levels to play, and I could zoom out further. I'm going to have to update this chart. You can see that this right here, 98,516, is going to be a very key support level. See all the support through here. And then you can see that this was a lot of support resistance right up around here, 103,561. So you can see how you can use all of these charts together to try to help you find points to long and short. But I hope that explains how accurate these charts are. Do go back and watch that last video. I covered all of this. I said, look, pay attention to this level. If we get above it, we're going much higher than our previous high. Potentially be resistance. We would hold this support and push higher. And that's what we did. But guys, pay attention. If we push up to 113,900, now we might not. If we do, that would be for me the most ideal point to open a short. And yes, I'd be willing to risk a little bit above that just to be in that short. But it's also possible we don't go back up and hit that point because we just hit the top of this curve in log scale. So that's why I said pay attention to 108,352. You start getting daily opens below that, then we can start coming down to some much lower targets. And that's also why this D1 fib retracement chart is important too. We know that as long as we're above this line here, 108,430, those targets match exactly, stay bullish. But you get daily opens below 108, well, we know we're bearish to 104. As long as that holds, well, then you're bullish back up to 108 or 109. We get daily opens below 104, we're headed to 100,500. But I just want you to understand that it is very possible, that we're either topped out now, and then we start coming down, and maybe this is a temporary top. Maybe we come down, we test some much lower targets, and then we come back up, we bust through resistance. But if you're just scalping or swing trading, looking for a way to make some profit, I'm just trying to show you why this looks like an ideal point to open a short. I showed you this in log scale, and I also showed you this in linear scale. So you could short now and have your stop above. You could have your stop above, let's say 112,000, I don't know. Well, actually just above is close to 113,000. So if you wanted to short now, I think you're gonna have to have your stop loss a little higher, or just kind of play the levels and just wait. But again, to me, it looks like if you're ever going to find the perfect entry for a short for Bitcoin, one that you could hold and ride and make a lot of money, this is it. But as I said before, if we hold above that, then guys, that's the last resistance level for Bitcoin. Just look at that. That goes back since 2017. Rejected every time we hit it. So either we get rejected and we come down to some much lower targets, and we know if we hold, and if we're holding above on the daily and the weekly above 113,000 around that area, well, then we're breaking above a key resistance level going back to 2017, which means we are going much higher. But I just want to let you know we're at a critical level. We might not even make it up to 113,000 or around that area. It's possible, you know, this could be the top. You know, if the further this goes to the side, you know, it's possible we could go a little higher. But I'm just showing you, you know, the key levels and why those are such critical resistance levels. I'm not saying they can't break, but to me, risking a short is worth it where price is now. But again, guys, if you want to take advantage of CoinCatch, do check out the events page. All of these links will be pinned in the first comment description. As I said, if you deposit $1,000, you will get back a $5,000 bonus. If you have any questions, email me through the contact page on my website. 30 slots every 7 days. And again, you deposit 500, you can get 1,250 back. If you deposit 200, you get 400. Guys, these are the best bonuses you can get. And again, there are no KYC, no VPN. So do check them out. My link to sign up is pinned in the first comment description. Do check out this tutorial video. I also have this link pinned in the first comment description. And guys, if you want to sign up or have questions about, you know, what I do and the charts I make or what, you know, about Discord, just contact me, send me an email, and I'll talk to you. But guys, let's see what happens. Just watch this video again if you have to. These are your most key levels to pay attention to. But the takeaway from this video is we are at a critical resistance level. We just tapped 112. I showed you this curve. This curve encompasses all of our peaks. And I showed you this line going back to 2017. I hope we push up to 113,900 because I will short the shit out of that. And yes, I will hold for a bit. I'm not stupid. If we hold above it, I'll have to close it. But to me, it looks like this is a point too short. And you know what? We might have missed that opportunity. So maybe wait until we get a daily open below 108,350 on the D1 Fib retracement and this chart. This is showing if we get below this point, we're probably going lower. And if we push up, you know, you close your short, you long support. That's what these levels are for. You long support. You know, if you come down here, you long 104,000, hope you push up to 113 and then short that. But that would be a short that you would hold. And that's what I've been waiting for. And I think we're getting close to that point. As far as the DXY, guys, the DXY, we did hold support around 98. Your support down here is around 97.5. You know, pay attention to the bond market. The bond market continues to crash. That's bullish for Bitcoin. People aren't, you know, jumping into cash for some reason. They're wanting to jump into Bitcoin. So there's a lot of factors at play, but strictly just technical, just going by the charts. I just want you to understand why this curve going back since the beginning of Bitcoin encompasses every single peak, and this line right here encompassed every single peak. So you could enter a short now with low margin, have your stop way above 114,000. And then again, if we start dropping, then you start adding to your short, making even more money as we drop. And if we hold above, well, then it's time to go long, but you have your levels. Guys, that's it. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.